Every time we eat, drink, or even breathe, we are exposed to invisible microplastics. So what can be done to remove the plastic that's accumulating in our bodies? Here with us today are the co-founders of Quorum Innovations, Dr. Nicholas Monsell and Dr. Ava Burkus, who have launched the world's first product to get rid of plastics in your gut. Welcome.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here. This is such an interesting topic. I think that we've probably heard about microplastics, but you know, I think people are like, I don't know what to do about it. So let's start kind of big picture here. Tell me about Quorum Innovations.
Well, we started Quorum Innovations over 10 years ago, focusing on the human microbiome and how we can use the good microbes on our bodies to protect us.
Okay, and then to get to this place we're wanting to get rid of microplastics, you did a lot of research, you had, you know, some experiments. We're gonna show a video of that experiment.
Right.
So kind of talk us through what you did.
Well, so we developed a specialized probiotic that in essence works like a magnet. And so it binds with the microplastics.
Okay.
And so laboratory research has shown that we bind up about 98% of the microplastics and then you flush it out naturally.
Interesting.
So the experiment that you're about to see right here is a metaphor for the plastics that are inside our body. And QI601 works like a magnet. So it binds the microplastics and then it makes it too big for you to absorb.
All right, so maybe we're sitting here and we're going, okay, why is this a big deal? Yeah. So what is a microplastic?
That's a really good question because they are literally everywhere. They're extremely small pieces of plastic that are too small to be seen by the naked eye, but if you measure them very carefully, they're in astronomical numbers. Mm-hmm. So I brought a few things just to kind of bring home where they are.
Yeah.
Not to discourage anyone from eating fruits and vegetables, I'm sorry, but apples actually contain about 1 billion micro and nanoplastics.
That was shocking to me because I think you think plastic, you're thinking a coffee cup or you're thinking plastic toys or that. You're like, oh, of course, you know, that's a microplastic, but the fruit was interesting to me.
And it makes sense because microplastics wind up in our soil and our water, so they're incorporated into even really healthy food. There are some maybe less obvious things. Gum is actually made of plastic because gum base is what keeps the gum chewable in your mouth, so they release several hundred microplastics in about the first 8 minutes of chewing. This I took from your green room. Thank you for my prop. This actually, with hot water seeped in it as you would use it for the coffee or for tea, a trillion nanoparticles, trillion nanoplastics, important because the smaller they are, the more readily they're absorbed into the body.
Okay, so you're saying that, you know, there's 1 million microplastics in an apple. Why is that bad for me?
Well, no one fully knows why, or actually what plastics are doing in our body, right? It's an evolving research right now. And so, but we do know one thing, that it does not belong there.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that actually brings up a very interesting topic, that we were actually called to Washington, D.C. To talk to the U.S. Surgeon General's office because they are talking to Ava and myself about just exactly how do you study the problem? What is the population demographics? You know, how do you actually start measuring the micro and nanoplastics that are in our bodies? How do you start approaching this problem?
Yeah.
Because no one really knows right now.
And you're really on the forefront of this and hoping to, you know, get these plastics out of our bodies.
Yeah, and I really think that's important because if we know that they don't belong, do we have to wait 20 or 30 years
to figure out why? Yeah,
exactly.
That's a great point.
So I really believe in being proactive about it, and I think there's a very natural way to deal with that, which is using other natural materials to bind up the plastics to essentially prevent them from absorption in the first place. So that's our whole concept.
Yeah. Is this product something that people can get? Is it something that they can do? Okay.
Yeah, it is. It's a nutritional supplement, so it's very easy to buy. It's called QI601, and it's on the website by the same name. We also wrote a book to try to explain to people what the whole background story is to this, and also what else they can do in their lives to cut down on their exposure to micro and nanoplastics.
Wonderful. If people want to learn more about the supplement, if they want to get the book so they can just be educated themselves, what's the best way that we can do that?
Well, our website, QI601.com, also our biotech company, Quorum Innovations, will give some more information, and you can get the book and the product on Amazon.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for being here and bringing this topic up. I think it's important for us to discuss and to learn about, like you said, because it's better to know now than later.
It is.
Yeah. Well, thank you both so much.
Thank you. Our pleasure.
Thank you.